Hello, faithful viewer. My name is JJ. I'm the head of production over at Iceblock, and I'd like to welcome you personally to another episode of Pointless Counterpointless. Today we are continuing on the very minor life adventure of playing every single Sega Master System game ever made for the system ever in our ongoing series, Jack of All Trades, Master of Fun. First up is Batman Returns. Now, the 8-bit era was incredibly kind to Batman, giving us not only the fantastic NES game, but also this game for the Master System. Graphically, this absolutely captures the feel of Tim Burton's world, and I can't tell you how thrilled I am for that. You could nitpick. You could say that the opening combat scene in the city shouldn't have posters of Oswald Cobblepot running for mayor because that didn't happen in the story yet, but you'd sound stupid. The mechanics are simple enough. You run around and you throw your batarang, and when it collides with enemies, they die in one hit, and if one of their projectiles collides with you, you die in one hit. Seems like a fair trade to me. You also have a really nice bat rope that you can swing around on, and the mechanics are surprisingly effective for the age of the system and its limitations. It felt really good to just be swinging from building to building and climbing up on these platforms using my bat rope. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. The graphics in this are really, really nice. Batman looks cool. It captures the feeling, and moderate controls with excellent atmosphere is all I ask for from my Batman games. I mean, most of the films are moderately good stories with excellent atmosphere. It's every now and then that we get a great Batman story, so these games are just in line with the cinematic version of the character. The one-hit kill thing might seem a little oppressive at first, but when you realize just how many extra lives there are peppered throughout the game, it quickly becomes manageable and not a point of stress at all. There are boss fights. They were not particularly difficult, but they were fun. It was nice to go toe-to-toe with the Catwoman and beat up this big fat circus guy. Anyway, all in all, this game is rock solid, it's worth playing, and it has a good feeling. If I had any complaint, it would be that I kinda wish the music was more like Danny Elfman's score. As it stands, it's just some 8-bit blips and blops and bloops, and that's okay. It's just not as great as every other ingredient in this game. Next up, Battle Outrun. In the interest of full disclosure, I must tell you that I was never really a fan of the Outrun series. The first racing game I played was Hang On, and I really liked the mechanics in it. I felt like the motorcycle moved well. I don't know what it is about the car design for Outrun, but I never got into it. I felt like the car was the wrong shape, the wrong image for this type of game. I don't know. From a very young age, I just didn't like the feel of this car, and this game did nothing to combat my feeling about the Outrun series. In fact, this one is a little bit worse than the average Outrun game because there's this battle element that feels very tacked on, and it doesn't work well. So at the beginning of the game, you choose your stage, and then you do the race. Most of the race is just driving forward and trying to dodge these other cars that swerve willy-nilly left and right. It's very irresponsible of them. Eventually, you get to the end boss of the level, who is another car, incidentally, and your task is to drive your car into him so many times that he skids off the road or blows up or something. I don't know. I never got that far. I would get to the end boss and I'd ram him a couple of times, but it was never enough to do any meaningful amount of damage, and then he'd drive away and it would tell me that I was not a good enough battle outrunner. That's okay. I'm not particularly emotionally invested in becoming a great battle outrunner, so it was really just a matter of being told I sucked and then turning the game off. It's not a bad game, it's just not a particularly great game. You can play it, and I'm sure you won't be miserable, but I don't really know if there's anything that stands out in any stellar way about this game. So, there you have it. Batman Returns, which are going to give the double deuce up, and Battle Outrun, which we're going to give 1 up and 1 down if I can figure out where there we go. We got 1 up and 1 down. 2 more games down. We've got another 300 some to go, so I'll be back at you later with another episode of Jack of All Trades, Master of Fun. Bye.